Hey, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How can I help you?
I have this taller coin from 1688 that's in pristine condition.
Okay. Yeah, it's a taller. That's where we get the word dollar. Pretty sure it's German. That was like their denomination. And the really cool thing here, though, is I believe this is called a wild man coin. It's sort of like folklore in Germany about these wild men, or half man, half beast that lived out in the woods. And like, it was the stories you told your children. You'll be good or the wild man will come and get you, you know.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my taller coin from 1688. A couple years ago, I was invited to go do a pick on an estate sale, and I came across this coin that was wrapped up inside of a rag. I've had the coin for a couple years now. It's just been sitting in the safe doing nothing, and I thought it'd be a good time now to sell it. I'm hoping to get $1,000 for my 1688 taller coin today.
This is a weird coin from a weird part of the world. And all throughout European history, there's legends of like wild people being raised by wolves and things like that. I mean, I guess the biggest story would be Romulus and Remus. Those were the two people that founded Rome, and they were raised by a she-wolf. No, I mean, that's one of the big stories, but especially in Germany, the 1600s, a lot of that stuff ended up on coins. And you're right, it is 1688. It looks in really, really good shape. What I can tell you is Germany, right around this time period, had great coins. They had great engravers. They struck them really, really pretty. I mean, you look at the back of it, you have this massive crest. They just were really into a lot of bling when it came to like crests and everything like that. I've seen pictures of this coin. I've never actually had one. I mean, it's pretty cool, dude. So, how much do you want for this?
Well, I was hoping to get $1,000 for it.
Okay. It looks like it's in amazing shape. I mean, really good shape. I mean, this is practically uncirculated, which is pretty rare. That's the part that really scares me. Let me get someone down here to look at it. I mean, I just don't know.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
A long time ago, when I had hair and a flatter stomach, I was referred to as a wild man. Not no more, though. So I have a coin. I believe this coin is named after you, the Wild Man.
Oh, boy. You heard. Yeah, fantastic. Well, from here, I can tell you it is a wild man taller. And these things, they're really cool because the motif is so alarming to see these wild men on here with these uprooted trees and big wild beards. So in terms of coin design, they're not something you encounter all the time.
Yeah, because on the back of it, it's got like this royal crest that's just...
Oh, yeah.
It's just over the top. I mean...
Yeah. They were struck for about 300 years. And at this point, Germany was this crazy patchwork of principalities and duchies, and each one of them was issuing coins. So I'm actually interested to see where this one is from.
So what do you think?
Well, may I take a look at it?
Oh, for sure.
Now, as I mentioned, these came from a lot of different individual authorities. Now, this one on the reverse, it has a Latin abbreviated inscription, Rudolph Augustus and Anthony Ulrich from, it says BR and LV, which is Brunswick and Lunenburg. So that places it. These two gentlemen were princes, and they were brothers. And they ruled for quite a long time at the end of the 17th century. So this is right in the middle of their reign, 1688. It's perfect. And so this is essentially celebrating that. You have two dukes and princes, so you have two wild men.
Okay. Is it real?
Absolutely. This is exactly how they should look.
All right. So what do you think it's worth?
Well, it's a very nice example, and these trade in a fairly narrow range. This is a nice one, though. I think you're looking at something in the range of $600, pretty solidly.
All right, cool. I'll let you know if I get it.
Great. All right. Good luck.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, not worth $1,000. I'll give you $300.
How about meet me up a little bit? Maybe like $450?
Here's the thing. If I get some German tourists in here, it'll probably sell, but I have to wait till German tourists come in here. $350?
Tell you what, let's do 400. 400, we can do a deal.
All right, $400. I'll meet you right over there, and I'll get you paid.
Sounds great, man. Let's do it.
Okay. Nowadays, I'm just referred to as my old man. What do we got?
I have something really unique to show you today. It's a 17th century powder flask. If I understood it, it's for a dueling pistol.
This is really neat. We have the Fer de Lys. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. That would make it French. Fer de Lys, Fer de Lys,
Fleur de lis.
whatever.
I have a 17th century powder flask. It's ivory, and I think it's from France. My dad made black powder guns for a living, so he collected a lot of things around that world. I want to get $20,000 for the gunpowder flask.
Okay, that is definitely cool. Do you know much about it?
Well, it's a 17th century powder flask. You know, I always pictured this really famous guy that won a lot of duels, and that was his powder flask.
I think it's more jewelry than it is actually used for a gun.
Oh.
A really, really rich dude had this. Guys like that, they never used this. There was nothing to do if you were rich, okay? If you were poor, you woke up in the morning, you went to work, and then by the time you got home, you collapsed and did it again the next day. You worked like a dog all day long. Now, if you were super rich, it's not like you went and go, well, today I'm gonna get my sports car, today I'm gonna get my Harley. Maybe we'll go to the lake and get on the jet ski. There was none of that. So back then, what they did was they got dressed up and went to fancy parties. This would hang on a guy's belt.
So this is more form over function.
Oh yeah, this was dressing up.
Oh.
This is ivory. That is bone in there. That was pretty common because what they used to do with ivory a lot is like the background and stuff like that you couldn't see that well. They would put bone in there because it was a lot cheaper than ivory.
Oh.
Whoever made this, he was good. You see how he inlaid this with gold, and this is one bluing technique where you get that color, a different bluing technique where you get that color, and a third one there. Bluing was an art, and the color of the bluing was dependent upon the temperature of the metal, the oils where you were using, and everything else like that. Now, how old it is, that's debatable. Is there any markings on it anywhere?
Nothing that really gives it a date or a timestamp, but if you look at the guy on the front, he kind of addresses the 17th century, and my dad always said it was from that era, so.
Okay. You know, today you can go out and buy things with George Washington's picture on it. That doesn't give it a date.
But were they made of ivory today?
There was no problem getting ivory up to like 30 years ago, so. How much are you gonna get out of this?
$20,000 is fair for something this age, this ornate.
Let me just call someone up. Someone's gonna know a lot more than I am. They're gonna know about the value better. But I have a friend who will know everything.
Yeah, that works.
So hang out 15 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Really looking forward to the expert getting a look at this gunpowder flask. I think he's gonna probably say it's worth a lot more than I'm asking.
Here it is. Wow. It's old. Exactly how old, I don't know.
The detail is stunning. The Fleur de Lis puts it absolutely French and also somehow related to the monarchy because of the crown. And that was not done lightly. This is somebody who has permission or is somehow associated with the crown. You didn't just decide you wanted a priming flask and throw the crown on there. But on the other side, this is very clearly King Henry II. So King Henry II died in 1559.
Oh.
But it's not that old. What I think this is a tribute to King Henry II. Now, Henry II was a really popular king at the time because he was an avid hunter and an outdoorsman, and he was always celebrated by French kings going on, most notably Louis XIV, the Sun King, the man who built Versailles. I do think that it would have belonged to one of his courtiers.
Okay, that is definitely cool.
The French court was notorious for its competition. Status was everything, and part of what helped you attain status were high-priced accessories. This would have been one of the finest pieces of craftsmanship you could have purchased. These two hooks here would have connected to some type of fancy lanyard that went around the courtier's neck and under their arm, and it would have hung there. And you can see this is something to other people to be envious of. Almost like today a man wears an expensive watch.
So, what do you think it's worth?
It's in exquisite condition. My best guess is that at the right auction, $20,000.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Good luck. A 17th century ivory primer flask would be valued by collectors not just of militaria, but also of art. So you really got the best of both worlds.
It's a great piece of history. It really is. I mean, what's your best price on it?
You heard the man, $20,000 seems like a pretty fair price.
$20,000 in the right auction, or I pay you 10 grand. You walk away with the money, I take all the risk.
What about 15,000?
I give you 11 grand for it.
God, it's hard. Could you do 12?
All right, 12,000, we got a deal.
Thank you.
All right, I'll meet you right over there.
Thank you.
So instead of a powder flask, it was like a man purse thing?
Hey guys, what's up?
What's up, man?
Got a surprise for you.
Okay. Over 2 years ago, I sent a samurai sword to Japan to get fully restored. Finally, it's back in the States, and Mike brought it to the shop today. I can't wait to see this.
After all this time,
Should we have a drum roll?
today I've got Rick's personal sword. This sword was made in the early 1600s. During that time, there was a lot of one-on-one duels, so the blade has a different kind of shape, made to cut very clean and very fast. Here it is.
There we go.
Ooh-wee, that thing looks sweet.
Oh, that's nice. No chips in it, nothing.
Came out perfect, no flaws. It took a little while because I had the best of the best work on it for you in Japan.
It does look pretty amazing. The blade itself was made right around 1500, right?
You know, before it was polished, it gets a little hard to tell, but after it's polished, we can see the detail more clearly.
Okay.
Early 1600s is where we agreed after the polish.
Okay. And we got all new hardware on it?
Yes, we changed the casing to a new one here. And this is actually done with real Japanese urushi lacquer made out of poison sumac. And we did a special handle wrap the old traditional way, and we did early 1600 fittings. So we gave it a nice new look, the old traditional way. But now, since it's all polished and everything, you're gonna have to have somebody take care of it.
Okay.
They used to do this in samurai movies after battle. This is called uchiko. This is the final powdered form of polishing stone.
Little dab, dab, dab.
Basically what it does is it takes off fingerprints, old oil, dirt, and dust.
What did we actually pay for that thing?
I think I paid like $6,000 for it like 10 or 11 years ago. How much was the restoration?
Including the parts, give or take about 10,000.
So what's it worth?
Well, since it's all in perfect condition now with all new different set of fittings, I'd say you're looking at the sword's value in around the 35 to 40,000 territory.
Okay. So I'm at 16,000, it's worth 35 to 40,000. I think I did all right. But it's not for sale, I'm just putting it in the case, so.
What do you mean it's not for sale?
Not for sale, pretty self-explanatory.
I have $16,000 worth of merchandise. It's for sale.
No, it's absolutely amazing. Thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Do not screw my sword up. Just gonna put it on display, all right?
Hey, what's up, man?
How are
you
you?
doing, buddy?
Good.
Hey, Dana, how you been?
Good. How you doing?
Just imagining what it would be like to play with this knife Rick won't let me touch.
That's why I'm here. I'm building this weapons room in my house, and what I'm really looking for today is a sword. Show me something good.
Yeah, I'm pulling a few down.
This one's from the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got? That's cool looking. This one's the most comfortable out of all of them.
Do you have any samurai swords in your collection?
I have some swords, but no real ones.
You know what? We have a samurai sword over here, and we can trace it all the way back to the samurai family.
That's perfect.
Yeah?
Show me that one.
All right.
What sword are you talking about?
The one your dad said don't sell.
Now I really want it.
It's just right over here at this case. There you go. We had it restored in Japan.
That's ridiculous. That's beautiful, man.
This sword is from the 1600s. It looks like it was made just yesterday.
Right.
The word samurai means to serve because you were there to protect and to serve the emperor. It was one of the highest honors. You didn't get more respect than walking through the streets coming from a samurai family.
Keeps getting cooler and cooler. I like it.
It was passed down to generation, And if you take this off on the handle down here, there's some writing that traces this blade back to the exact family.
He's putting on the hard sell here. I was sold already.
So when a guy says sold, chum, you typically give him a price.
I know, but I wanted to give him a little history before I just drop a price on him. Because something like this is $40,000.
Is that the price?
That's the price, $40,000, and they are very hard to come by.
Right. I'll give you 28,000.
Man. I started a little high, so I had a room to negotiate, but I think 35 is about where I'm sitting.
I'll go 30.
Don't look at me, man. This is your big deal.
30,000, huh?
I'll tell you what. I'll take this for 30,000, and I'll buy every one of those swords that you showed me over there too.
So another 30,000 for the other swords.
It's all on you, buddy.
You know what? That's a deal I can't refuse. All right, it's gonna take me a little while to package everything up, so
Okay.
Can you come back in a little while?
Done.
See you later.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
All right, that's how you do business, Corey. I'm getting a bonus. Yeah, that's how you make commission, Corey.
Yeah,
You didn't even want me to sell that. I did make a good deal.
you got lucky.
I was born lucky. I didn't get lucky. What's up?
Why is my sword out here? You know you're not allowed to play with it.
First off, that is no longer your sword. I sold it.
What do you mean you sold my sword?
Rick, first off, we got to get over this ownership thing. It's not yours anymore.
It was bought by the store. It was paid to be refurbished by the store. This store sold the sword for $30,000, plus an additional $30,000 worth of stuff.
Is the customer still here?
Yeah, why don't you go tell him you can't buy it?
I will.
See if you can kick his ass for it.
Hey, Rick, bring me my commission back. He gonna get his butt whooped.
Hey, Dana, how's it
What's up,
going?
buddy? Good. How you doing?
So I'm assuming you're the one who bought my sword.
I did.
Okay.
The fact that you didn't want to sell it made me want it more.
Well, you've already paid me, so. If there's one person I'm not going to argue with over this sword, it's Dana White.
You mad at Chumley?
Yeah, it took me 2 years for that sword in Japan to get it back.
It's beautiful. It's awesome.
So I have another sword I just bought. You want to see that one?
Yeah.
Now, this one's pretty amazing. I mean, it's not as old as the other sword, but this one belonged to a Japanese lord. And I was going to ship it off to Japan. So if you want to take it to Japan and wait 2 years to get it back, you can. It'll probably be between 6 and 10 grand to get it fixed.
Right. I actually like it like this. Beat up and old. How much?
That one I'll take 10 grand for. It literally belonged to a lord in the Japanese Civil War. It's sort of their version of like General Grant's sword.
Got it. Well, I just bought half the swords in the place.
Yeah.
Will you give it to me for 8?
Can we do 9?
Yeah. I'll give you 9 for it.
Sweet. Cool, man. Well, Chum wrap this one up too.
Perfect. I love the whole Japanese samurai tradition and the story, and it's a beautiful sword, so I couldn't refuse it, so I took that one too.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
What do we have here?
Well, it is a Cromwellian lobster tail helmet.
This style of helmet was popular in England during the English Civil War. Happened in the
1642
1642. You're
to
good.
51.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Your history.
Today I've got a 1640s Cromwellian lobster tail helmet. There's a lot of people that are interested in this genre of arms and armament. So I'm asking $3,500 for the helmet, but I think I'd be willing to sell for $2,000.
This thing is definitely cool. It was just really a bizarro, weird Civil War. It was the king saying, I'm in charge, and Parliament saying, well, you're in charge, but not really in charge. You had Cromwell and the Puritans and all this, and basically, the king lost. Mm-hmm. And he also lost his head.
As it happens.
This was high-tech And I mean, it was a lot better than like earlier wars where they just had basically a steel dunce hat on their head, and they would have this flap on the back. And this thing had leather straps inside, so it gave a little support, so when you hit someone on the head, it wasn't as bad.
Okay.
During the English Civil Wars, these helmets were used by both sides. And this design was considered really high-tech. You had something that flexed and protected your neck. But I have to say, there's something about this lobster tail helmet that's a little fishy. So how much you want for this thing?
I'd love to get $3,500 for it.
Okay. I have some concerns right off the bat with this thing. The reason why it was called a lobster tail helmet was because this flexed like a lobster tail. This is all one piece. And that really concerns me. Do you mind if I have someone look at it?
Sure.
Okay. If you can hang out for a little bit, I'm going to go call somebody and get him down here. What if they'll come back in style?
When he mentioned that he was calling in an expert, I felt a little nervous, but I think that this piece would be perfect in the shop, and I think they'd do really well with it.
Ah, the lobster tail pot helmet.
So my big concern is his tail doesn't flex.
Okay, well, this is Cromwellian. Basically, Cromwell had supporters, they called them the Roundheads, and they were diametrically opposed to the Royalists who supported King Charles. They called them the Cavaliers.
Okay.
This is why it's called the lobster tail. Traditionally, I guess you could say, this would have been 3 sheets of metal riveted together, so it had a little bit of articulation. They did make them like this for lower status soldiers. It was preferred by officers, but this shouldn't be a reason to think that this isn't correct.
All right.
There's a lot of history around this helmet. This was a brutal time to be at war. They're using giant swords, they're using axes. There were so many things that a helmet was crucial to saving your life.
So what do you think it's worth?
If this were true to the period, this would be, I could see it getting $3,500. There's some rivets here and some pieces of leather on the inside. Those are for cheek pieces. So they would have been worn on either side and hung freely. Now, it's very typical that they're missing because they're connected by leather typically. You can see some of that leather still here. I don't see too much 350-year-old leather. The other thing is, it's really light. This wouldn't have been worn in the battle. There's just no way that this would have stopped a blow from a broadsword. I would think that it's actually a Victorian copy. As a Victorian copy, a couple $100.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm really sorry.
No worries.
I'd give you $50 for it.
Yeah, no, at that price, I think I'll just keep it.
Okay, I understand. Like I said, it happens.
What are you gonna do? Thanks so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. For $50, I think I'll just go ahead and take it home and enjoy it while watching my favorite British movie with some wine or something.
What do we got here?
It's a 1652 sixpence.
Okay.
Rick, it looks like it's run over by a truck.
What do you expect? It's 359 years old.
So am I.
I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to sell my 1652 sixpence. It's been sitting around for a while, so I want to sell it. Hoping to get $3,000 for it. We'll see what he offers.
So where did you get this?
Out of the walls of our house in Saugus, Massachusetts.
Do you know much about the coin?
It's rare. Other than that, no, I don't really know that much about it.
Right around 1650, we started making coins in the United States. First, there was a farthing, which was a quarter of a penny. Then there was 1 pence, 4 pence, which was a groat. And then there were 6 pence, and 12 pence equaled a shilling. I mean, can you imagine making change? I mean, when something's 4 shillings, a groat, 2 pennies, and a farthing? Back in colonial times, we still used English money. The 6 pence was struck in sterling silver and can be worth a whole lot of money today. So you obviously had it sent off to get graded.
Yep, I had it sent out.
Coins are graded on how bad they're worn out. You'll notice they didn't put any number there.
Yeah.
It says fine detailed damage. When a coin is damaged, it's not graded.
When it comes to grading coins, damaged is like getting an F. But that doesn't mean it's worthless. There's a huge market for colonial-era coins. People will buy them in just about any condition. But condition determines price, and this thing looks like it's had a tough life. So what do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
Okay, and how much do you want for it?
3,000.
Shillings? The problem is it's damaged, which basically makes it the lowest grade. I'll give you 500 for it.
You can't go any higher. 2,000.
I can't. It's a $600 coin. I'm gonna make $100 off you.
I don't want to go for that low.
Okay. Well, thanks for bringing it in.
Thank you very much. $500 is an insult. He's very knowledgeable about his coins, but I just think it's worth more.
You must be Vincent?
Yes.
How's it going, Vincent?
Oh, well.
So what do we got here?
Well, looks to be a 17th century hand cannon.
These are amazing. Have you ever fired this thing before?
Not personally, but my dad shares stories that it has been fired before.
I would like to actually fire it.
You're gonna fire this thing?
No, I mean, you are.
Oh, no, I'm not.
I called the guys at the pawn shop to come down today to check out my hand cannon. I got it from my father, who ended up getting it from his grandparents and great-grandparents. It was very old, a lot of oxidation on the exterior of that barrel. I don't have really much of any sentimental value to the hand cannon. I'm hoping to sell the hand cannon for $4,500 today.
This is incredible.
What exactly is a hand cannon?
This is the first handheld gunpowder shooting device. The Chinese are the first ones to come up with a hand cannon. Basically, they invented gunpowder long before the Europeans did. This is cast iron. You can tell it's really utilitarian. They didn't give a damn what it looked like as long as it worked. And it looks like probably right around 1500, right around then.
How do we know it's an actual hand cannon? I mean, it looks like you had a little spike you stuck in the ground and shot it, because I can't imagine shooting a cannon like this.
No, believe it or not, they held them, okay? It's really, really heavy. This thing probably weighs like 50 or 60 pounds. You would hold it, you gotta be really strong. And then, you know, one guy would hold it and another guy next to him would have to light it. So it was massively intimidating.
Yeah, dude, I just don't buy that some guy's sitting there holding this thing and shooting it like a cannon and then not flying back and hurting somebody. It looks to me more like it would go on the ground like that and then you would shoot it.
You'd think holding a cannon would just like rip your arms out, but with all that weight, it doesn't have that big of a recoil.
I'm not believing the whole hand cannon situation.
Do you have kids?
No.
You're lucky. Okay. So how much are you looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get $4,500 out of it.
Okay. My buddy Alex is coming out. He's an arms expert. He'll take a look at it and see if it's fireable and everything else like that.
Perfect.
All right, so just a few minutes, he should be here.
Okay. I am hoping the expert would be giving the value that I'm hoping for, $4,500, and to maybe, you know, teach us a few more things that I don't even know about it.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, Alex?
Alex.
So, he's trying to tell me that some guy held this in his hand and shot it. I don't buy it. It looks like some kind of mortar thing.
Oh, well, technically it's a hand cannon and that's its handle. So, yeah, that was sort of the original intent. And they also pushed it into the ground. So there were a lot of uses for it, but in technical terms, we call that part of this hand cannon the handle.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go with the hand cannon thing for you, if it makes you happy.
So what do you think?
So this is one of the most rudimentary devices considered a firearm that ever existed. It's Central Asian, maybe Indian, Indo-Persian, Afghanistan, that sort of region. It's iron, but I would date it 16 to 1700. It has a touch hole drilled into it, so they could put some powder in the touch hole and fire it that way. You know, when these were originally designed, they stuffed anything down there. Pebbles, arrowheads, anything that would come out and do damage. Is your intention you really want to fire it?
Yeah, why not? If we fire it, and it actually fires well, and I have a video of it, and I do buy it, I can sell it better.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
I do need to see down the bore. And I'd like to be able to see if there's any obvious cracks or fissures. So this is a little bit of a light that'll show me the general shape of the inside of the barrel. Hand cannons were of the age of swords and bows and arrows, and while they could do destruction, they definitely instilled fear in the enemy due to the fire, the sound, and if you did get hit by a projectile, it wasn't a good thing for you. So this hand cannon is actually in pretty good shape for its age. The bore walls are thick. We can fire it with a low load of black powder.
So what do you think it could be worth?
I've seen things go like this on auction for as much as $10,000.
Okay.
I've seen them go for a lot less, $5,000, $7,000 in that range. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see it shoot before I give you a final value.
All right, we'll go and load the thing. I'm gonna film it. I think we should stand back.
I would stand about over there.
So you're not gonna hold it?
No, I'm not holding it. No way.
I mean, that's the whole point. It's a hand cannon.
I know, but I inspected it and it looks good, but I do think we should keep our distance, so I stuck it in the earth. I put some boulders behind it to anchor it down. We're ready to fire. Oh, and Corey, I took your advice and I got your special bear.
Thank you.
You got the bear from the pawn shop.
Very special bear.
So Corey asked me to stop by the shop to get the teddy bear, and I rigged it with some really special stuff. So if I can just hit it, it will explode. Like, I'm ready. Everybody good?
Let's see this. Uh-oh.
Teddy! That was so good, Corey. Great job. What a good idea.
It's vaporized.
I gotta say, the hand cannon's cooler than I thought.
All right. Well, it was a heck of a show. I got a great video. So what's it worth?
It's a very nice example, but it's rudimentary, and the collector's market is so-so for it. So I think this $5,000.
Well, thanks a lot, man. This
All right.
was an amazing day, right, by the way?
Yeah, this is really fun. Corey, great idea.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. I value this hand cannon at $5,000. It's a really nice example, and it's 400 years old, but it's not the earliest example of a hand cannon. But now that it can fire, and we can prove that with a video, Rick will have an easier time marketing it.
So, you wanted $4,500. If it's worth $5,000, I can't pay that. I mean,
Sure.
it takes a long, long time to sell this. So I'm thinking more like 2,000 bucks. It's a really limited market. That's the most I can do.
Well, I can do 2,000.
Okay, cool. Just get it back to the pawn shop, and we'll do some paperwork and get you paid.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
You blew up the teddy bear.
You know, dude, it was old and it was dusty, and I was just tired of looking at it. I mean, you ever see a teddy bear blow up?
I know, I never saw a teddy bear blow up.
Well, now you have.
So what do we got here?
Oh, this is my antique chest.
Did you get it off a pirate ship or something?
I wish. I'm coming in the pawn shop today to try to sell my antique chest. I'm looking to sell this chest because we're redecorating and it doesn't match anything. I paid $2,000 for it and I'm hoping to at least get maybe double my money.
So do you know anything about it?
Not really.
To me, it looks like it came from a ship or a stagecoach. I think this is what they called a bullion chest, where they transported gold and silver. They were extremely heavy, so people couldn't run off with them, and they were locked very well where people couldn't break into them.
Okay. I can tell it's old. It's hand wrought iron. It's hand-hammered rivets. I mean, and the rivets are wrought iron. They're not steel.
The moment I saw this chest, I started drooling. I've never seen anything like it. It is super unique.
Was there anything inside it?
Haven't been able to open it.
Have you had a locksmith look at it? Because you got a key right here.
Yeah, I had a couple try to open it, but nobody was successful.
Did you try and shoot it open?
No comment.
I mean, it's got a little hole here and a big hole in the back of it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm intrigued. I want to know what's inside that damn chest.
I mean, yeah, especially if you paid that much money, you wouldn't want to put a crowbar on it.
No way.
I'd really like to know what's in it before I made you an offer.
To be honest, I'd like to know what's in it before I sell it.
Before we negotiate, we have to know what's inside. Because if there's an important coin or document, it could make it worth a lot more money. I have one guy I think can get into this. Let's give him a call. Let's see if I can get him up here, and
We'll go from there.
we'll go from there. That's all I can tell you.
Sounds fine to me.
I've been in this business for many years, but I don't think I've ever had anything come in here that could be as valuable as this chest. But it depends on what's inside.
Oh man, this is the chest.
Yeah, this is it, man.
I'm an expert in antique arms and armor, and I've been collecting since I was 10, and I've been dealing professionally for over 20 years. So what are your concerns?
Yeah, I just need to get it open, and you can tell me how old it is and what it's worth, and maybe we can make a deal. We're baffled.
We're in a fog right now.
Normally when someone brings in an object, we know what they have. In this case, we have no idea because we don't know what's inside the chest. And none of us want to start throwing out numbers until we know.
It definitely predates the 20th century. This is not even 18th century. This would be early 17th century, even late 16th century. This was the typical form for the strong boxes. And because they didn't have a banking system back then, this is a real treasure chest. This escutcheon plate on the front was to deter a would-be thief to try to break into this, but this was false, completely false, just as a kind of a fooling technique. And I can also tell just by the patina that this wasn't a recent bullet hole, okay? It may not have been from the 17th century or the 16th century, but it's definitely, you know, a musket ball hole.
Not only is this thing real, but the hole was made by a musket ball, and that's the kind of thing collectors dream about.
You know, your mind kind of goes crazy wondering how that got there. You know, was there a guy that was trying to break into this thing? Did he pull out his flintlock pistol and shoot it out of frustration? You know, were they traveling with this treasure chest and maybe being chased by highwaymen? I don't know, but I mean, the mystery is there.
So you think he can open it?
Well, now granted that this is a working key, and I'm hoping that it is, chances are I'm going to be able to get it open. This key is going to operate a very intricate mechanism that's contained within the lid of this chest. Now, I'm not going through the front. This is the brilliant part, and how they made this and came up with this idea back then is just mind-boggling. This is actually where the key goes. And this is a little hidden by a spring. The key would go into the top, okay? Now this may or may not work because you need a lot of strength to open these things. Okay, lift up.
It's empty.
Yeah. No, like pirate scrolls or anything.
Well, not what I was hoping for. A little disappointing.
I know everybody was let down, you know, once we opened this thing and there was nothing in it. But you know, the chest itself still is very, very valuable. It's very rare. And the fact that this is in wonderful condition, hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been restored, it's still a very valuable item. Well, if you can see the mechanics of this, one key turns and moves all these locking bolts that lock it underneath this lip. The technology in this box was so far ahead of its time. The designer had one key motion to affect 8 bolts. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Watch your fingers.
So how much is this thing worth? 50, 60 bucks?
It would be worth. There's not a lot of these out there. You know, how many still exist? I don't know. In an auction setting, anywhere from, say, 7,000 to 12,000 is conservative. And the fact that it's got a bullet hole in it, you know, that kind of adds to the flavor. Realistic street value, I would say anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 is realistic.
Well, thanks for coming in, Sean.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Hell, I'm tired of pussyfooting around with this chest. It's time to negotiate. Okay, what do you want for it?
I understand that could get as much as 7, maybe 5 or 6, and we can negotiate that?
I'd give you like $4 grand for it.
4,000 cash go a long way, my friend.
I don't disagree with that, and I really don't want to bring that back home.
Well, if you don't want to bring it back home, I'll give you 3,000.
I'll bring it back home for 3.
I refuse to go higher than $4,000. The street value on this thing is $5,000, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for profit. Like I said, I just really want it. I just want to cut to the chase, and that's what I can give you for it.
If 4,000's a firm offer?
Firm offer.
All right, we have a deal.
All right, let's go up here. We got to do some paperwork. Honestly, I'm really happy with the deal. The chest is amazing, and I got it for a really good price. Now, I just got to go put some gold in it.